Hey, I hope you're having an awesome Friday. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have a great story about the Sacramento Gay Men's Chorus. So you will hear some amazing singing a little bit later in our show. And it's also Friday, so you already know we're hitting the back roads with John Bartel. He's taking us out to Sonoma for a little zip lining, so it should be fun. But let's get you caught up on the news of the day, and we start with tonight's main point. There has been a rise in gun violence on our major highways across the state since the pandemic. We fortunately have not had to recently cover another one of these incidences until now. Now, we can confirm an Amazon big rig driver was shot on I-5 in Lathrop yesterday. The big rig drove off I-5 and crashed into a building. The driver, who was a 37-year-old from North Carolina, later died. Becca Habegger has been looking into the case and heard from a witness just hours ago.
It is a shock for this community. First, that a big rig would come off I-5 and plow into this building here, which has been boarded up, but you can still see some of the damage there on the ground. Then learning the driver had been shot on the freeway, and finally getting that sad confirmation today that he had died. You know, one man who witnessed the crash is sharing his story and video with us tonight.
It was a normal day. We're driving down the freeway, heading home from work. All of a sudden, I just saw this diesel just go off the freeway, plow down through a fence, go up into a parking lot, and smash a car into a building.
Marcelo Lopez says he did not hear or see anything unusual leading up to the crash, which happened around 12:48 Thursday afternoon.
I didn't see any cars acting funny or nothing. It just went off the road. I thought maybe it was a medical issue.
He later learned, along with the rest of the community, that the driver had been shot on I-5 and died as a result.
It's terrible. I mean, that's a working man. You don't believe it. You're like, oh my gosh, how can people act like this and do this?
Getting reports that this was possibly a shot-fired incident with the big rig going off the freeway.
The California Highway Patrol tells ABC 10 it does not have any information to share on a shooting suspect or their vehicle, but they are asking for possible witnesses to help. In a Facebook post, CHP writes, if you were driving northbound on I-5 between State Route 120 and Louise Avenue in Lathrop between the hours of 12:30 and 1 p.m. on Thursday and have a dash cam, we need your help. Any footage of this area during this time frame could be helpful, and we would ask that you contact CHP Valley Division Investigative Services Unit. Lopez went to CHP with this video he took.
I'm encouraging anybody to report it. Try to help this man that was unfortunately lost his life working.
And you saw the Amazon logo on that truck. We did reach out to Amazon for a statement. A spokesperson tells us, we're very sorry to hear about his passing, and our thoughts are with his family during this difficult time. We're continuing to cooperate with law enforcement as they investigate this incident. And you know, Amazon does note there were no Amazon packages on the truck at the time of the crash.
And we mentioned a troubling trend in freeway shootings late last year. The Guardian investigated what was happening on our major roadways. They found that a number of highway shootings in California doubled in just 2 years during the pandemic. About 1/4 of those shootings were due to road rage. All right, here's what else people are talking about today locally. Another death investigation in Sacramento. This time, a man was found with what police are calling apparent traumatic injuries. This happened where Mack Road passes over Highway 99. Just in the past few days, Sacramento police have been investigating 4 different homicides. Many of the victims were under 30 years old. More fentanyl has been taken off the streets. Police in Turlock shared this picture with us today, saying that they seized 7 million pills worth of the deadly drug. They say that what you see right here is enough to kill 5 million people. A man was arrested. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will be visiting Sacramento on Monday. Just yesterday, he challenged Governor Newsom to run for president. DeSantis will be here for a fundraising event. According to the SACB, it's a roundtable breakfast priced at $3,300 a ticket. Events are happening across our region this weekend in celebration of Juneteenth. The federally recognized holiday is technically on Monday. Biden made it a federal holiday 2 years ago. But what is Juneteenth? We're going back in time to explain.
Open a U.S. history book, and chances are its author will quickly point out January 1st, 1863, the date President Abraham Lincoln, with one proclamation, orders and declares that all persons held as slaves shall be free. What that same history book might fail to mention is what happened to these words once they arrived on the shores of Galveston, Texas, more than 2 years after Lincoln wrote them. And in 1865, months after General Robert E. Lee's surrender, word of the end of the Civil War had yet to hit the southern state and its 250,000 slaves. And then came General Gordon Granger's arrival in Galveston, June 19, 1865, and General Order Number 3. All slaves are free. Juneteenth was born. While Juneteenth celebrations continued to varying degrees in the U.S. for decades, it would take until 1980 for Texas to become the first state to declare it a holiday. Today, 47 states recognize it and the District of Columbia. A chapter of our history, for far too long left out of the books designed to document it. But no longer. Juneteenth, or as the National Museum of African American History and Culture now calls it, our country's second Independence Day.
Are you looking to get outside this summer? Well, we're hitting the back roads where you can zip line through Northern California's redwoods.
Warm temperatures today, but a cooling trend is headed our way. How low temperatures could drop.
And we're bringing you a powerful story of inclusion going inside the Sacramento Gay Men's Chorus that includes women too. All right, let's get a check of your forecast. Actually, not going to be too bad. A little warm this weekend, but still great for Father's Day, right, Carly?
Yeah, great to get that grilling done out there. I know a lot of people like to spend that time outdoors, especially when it's not too hot just yet. Before that summer really kicks in, we're looking at temperatures in the 80s for the weekend, hitting 81 at lunchtime, 87 at 3, 86 at 6 p.m. Sunshine throughout your weekend. And it's Father's Day weekend at that. The Valley looking at temperatures around the 80s, mid 80s or so. In the foothills in the mid 70s, and then the Sierra 62 degrees or so. As we see an average temperature for all of these on Father's Day, we'll be staying right around those mid 80s though into the weekend. Today we saw highs in the low 90s for Sacramento, mid 90s to upper 90s from Marysville to Oroville. Very warm up there. Stockton at 91 with 89 degrees in Modesto today. Low 90s in Auburn with 88 in Jackson for the high. Now, as we look at our satellite radar, mostly clear skies and sunshine, but there is a lake wind advisory in effect. If you have plans to head up toward the Sierra, we are looking at potential for capsizing small boats, kayaks, and paddleboards due to those strong winds up to 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts. In the valley, about 15 to 20-mile-per-hour winds, and we'll continue to see some strong winds through the coastal range spots and over the Sierra on Saturday. The strongest winds coming in on Sunday, especially into those Sierra spots where we're looking at those strong winds into Monday around 8 p.m. when that lake wind advisory is expected to expire at that time. As we talk about our temperatures for the weekend, again, mid to upper 80s for the next couple of days before we start to see a cooling trend happening on Monday around those mid 70s. We'll continue to stick around these lower 80s through the week, and the average for this time of year for the high is around 86 to 87 degrees. So keep that in mind as we continue to see these cooler temperatures. You're looking at the first day of summer on Wednesday at 83 degrees.
Coming up after the break, making Sacramento's streets safer, why the city needs your help. Welcome back. The city of Sacramento is looking for your help. They're trying to make streets safer for people who live there. Right now, the city's senior transportation planner is focusing on communities that haven't seen the high level of street and infrastructure investment.
So we really are focusing some of our engagement in North Sacramento, South Sacramento, and the Fruit Ridge Broadway area. So we'll be doing additional engagement in those areas to make sure that those voices that aren't always heard are being heard in this effort.
The idea is to also prevent pedestrian and car crashes, as well as help with climate goals by walking and biking. We do have more information, including those project maps and how you can get involved. Just go to abc10.com/links. ABC 10 is celebrating Pride Month, and throughout the month of June, we are bringing you stories about LGBTQIA culture and people. And for nearly 40 years, the Sacramento Men's Chorus has provided a safe space for the LGBTQ plus community, and they are doing more than singing. This organization has been part of the foundation of the area's LGBTQ plus community by fighting intolerance and supporting those impacted by the AIDS epidemic.
I think a lot of people are surprised that we have a chorus of this size in Sacramento, sending the message that we do, and as talented as we are.
But any person that I have said that I'm a member of it, and when I post on Facebook, I've had some interesting because it's Sacramento Gay Men's Chorus.
You know, we're inclusive. People always say, but you say it's the gay men's chorus and yet you have women. That's true. We were founded as the men's chorus. We grew into the Sacramento Gay Men's Chorus. We keep that as a legacy to honor those that came before us.
I started in the founding year of the Sacramento Men's Chorus. At the time, it was named Sacramento Men's Chorus because we were afraid of calling it gay. In the early 80s, people were not out. It was, I'm a teacher, and so you could be fired. As you know, in the 80s, the AIDS crisis, we sang at probably more vigils and funerals than I would ever care to tell you. We lost many people across the chorus during that era from mid-80s to mid-90s.
It truly is family. We've helped people out when they've been in dire straits. If people have been unemployed or needed help with food or logistics or anything like that, this chorus rallies around them.
When I joined in 1984, it was about finding my gay family, because as many who were ostracized by their family for being gay or lesbian, bisexual, transgendered, queer, you had chosen family. And I think that many people today join it and see it as an inclusive organization from the standpoint that it becomes chosen family. And we need that in our community.
I had come out late in my life, and I had been recently married, and my family had decided to end our relationship. My wife and I saw the holiday performance, the last one, and it was so phenomenal, and the talent was just incredible. I happened to get a text at that moment of the last family member, and the choir sang "You Belong Here," and it was a moment where I was like, I'm gonna get emotional, but it was a moment where I was like, great, now what? And then they sang "You Belong Here," and I thought, oh, it's pretty cool. So I auditioned, and here I am.
Despite what the mood is in this country right now, politically, regarding gays or drag queens or people who aren't, quote unquote, what they would call the norm, we are the norm too. Sacramento has embraced us immensely. Since we came back from the pandemic, every single show has been sold out. That's never happened in the almost 40 years history of this chorus.
I feel joy when I'm performing because we can see the smiles and the laughter.
You just see so many faces looking back at you, just really eager to see what you have to present. I love to perform, I love to sing, and I also love being in a warm and welcoming community. And all of those things keep me coming back every season.
Photojournalist Ayanna Williams and producer Mike Bennell put that amazing story together. And while tickets for this weekend's Queens for a Night show are already sold out, you can guarantee yourself a ticket next year by becoming a member of the chorus. For more information on joining or to see their performance schedule, we do have a link at abc10.com/links. And speaking of Pride Month, Sacramento's Pride Festival was last weekend, ABC 10, of course, being a proud sponsor. Thousands of people showed up to the event. And if you are looking to attend a Pride Festival, San Francisco's Pride is next weekend. It's one of the largest, if not the largest, Pride event in the country. And every show, we let you know what we're working on for our next newscast. So coming up on Monday, ABC 10 has been reporting for over 3 years on California's broken conservatorship system. Investigative reporter Andy Judson is back with her Price of Care series with a new story that looks of the case of Ranny Slater. She has a developmental disability, was conserved by the Department of Developmental Services only after receiving payment for a settlement stemming from the baby formula that caused her disabilities. DDS is responsible for Ranny, including medical care, but the problem is
DDS, I've never heard from them at all since she got conserved. No, they've never been over here, never. And it took 3 years to get them to approve the surgery.
Ranny has been dealing with health issues, but the Department of Developmental Services and Alta Regional Center, the agency that is supposed to provide the care and services, did not respond appropriately and in a timely manner. It has hurt Ranny, her health, and of course, well-being. So make sure that you watch that story Monday night right here at 6:30 on To The Point. And coming up after the break, we are hitting the back roads where you can zip line through some very tall trees. Every Friday, John Bartel takes us on the back roads. This week, John takes us to Sonoma County to fly through the redwoods on an epic zipline course. Take a look.
Just off the Bohemian Highway in Sonoma County, there's a grove of redwood trees that breathe a certain fear into anyone who enters. And if you listen closely, you'll hear screams from the treetops. The fearful screams you hear are those of visitors flying through the trees at Sonoma Zipline Adventures.
That's gonna be great.
The adventure part of Sonoma Zipline Adventures is key to the operation here, and zipline guides Noah Silverstein and Drew Farley are here to make sure that I complete the full course, which includes 7 zip lines, 2 sky bridges, 6 tree houses, and a spiral staircase that gets you high up into the tree canopy.
How much weight can this thing hold?
A lot.
A lot. That's all I need to know.
More than you or I.
Okay, good.
The treetop tour is the fastest and highest course, and all you'll be ziplining nearly 2/3 of a mile of cable.
You can go as much as 30 to 40 miles per hour depending on your mass.
40 miles? Yeah. Oh man, maybe I should have had another breakfast burrito or something. Got the speed up.
The zipline is just one adrenaline fix that thrill seekers come here to experience. Remember that sky bridge I told you about earlier? Well, it too will test your vertigo.
It's a little shaky.
At more than 100 feet up, the bridge gives you a pretty good look at the forest below.
I think I see Sasquatch. Whoa!
For those of you who may be skeptical about the strength of the redwoods and the platforms that hold you up, Drew likes to do a little durability demonstration.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I imagine people love that when you do that. Yeah.
He also likes to show you how much the trees naturally sway just by pushing them.
You can see just how much you can move.
You're like a He-Man, moving trees.
Everything I've experienced so far is a build-up to this part of the course, which is Northern California's longest zip line, which stands 250 feet off the ground. It takes a full 45 seconds just to get to the other end. And once you get to the end of the platform, you get a good look at the Sonoma Adventure tree houses.
Every tree house has its own name and is kind of decorated and themed to its name.
Dan Ferguson was kind enough to give me a tour inside the tree houses, and to my surprise, they were nothing like the tree forts I built as a kid. They're pretty cozy, with plush beds, large vanities, and even a toilet.
Is this a good way to get over your fear of heights, you think, to sleep in the tree?
It actually could be, because you're very secure. Redwoods sway a little bit, so the tree house will rock you gently to sleep at night.
Built at a height of 80 to 100 feet, these tree houses will either help you conquer your fear of heights or
push you right over.
Yeah, otherwise you're never, I'm never doing that again.
Okay.
To finish off the tour, visitors take a spiral staircase that leads you to yet another shorter zip line where you can take a selfie. And it's at this point that your tour guide will inform you that the only way to get down is to jump the 60 feet to the ground.
From Sonoma Zipline Adventures, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back road. Woohoo!
All right, so now it's your turn. Got something that you want us to check out in your town or you think would be a great road trip destination? Just let us know. You can text us at 916-321-3310. And as always, we want to hear what's going on in your community. Make sure you reach out to me and the team. We have Facebook, Instagram, or you can always send us an email at tothepoint@abc10.com. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.